osteopathic rationale for treatment. There is this misunderstood idea that the body will heal itself. The misunderstanding comes from the fact that heal itself refers to a limited restoration of tissue and structural function. The body heals from cuts and bruises and soft tissue injuries to the extent that the tissue mends, but that does not restore the level of function present before the insult or injury. The body does not return to the state of embryological development and reorganize and restore tissues to the original state before the injury. The body heals itself by mending, then optimizes its function within the new limitations. As insults, disease, aging, etc., and injuries build up, and as the amount of time these injuries or insults have been affecting the body increases, less functionality is available to the body. The body becomes compensated. Around this loss of function, the body adapts to maximize function within the available parameters. No matter what level of growth, development, recovery from injury, compensation, and adaptation, compensation is pathologically lost function, and adaptation is the resultant loss of function associated with the compensation. The body maximizes its available function with the following goals. The lower extremities, foot, ankle, knee, hip, pelvis, lumbar, and thoracic spine to T10, try to make the world flat. The inner ear, vestibular mechanism, and eyes try to get parallel to the ground surface to maintain orientation in space. And the body needs to accommodate breathing and fluid pumping in between meeting these other two needs. Hence, it is our goal as osteopathic manual therapists to restore the body's ability to perform these functions in an efficient manner to maintain optimal function and health. Stated another way, it is the goal of osteopathic treatment to keep the patient feeling young as old as possible. Our goal is to optimize health and wellness from a physiological standpoint. How do we accomplish these goals effectively and efficiently? These goals are the rationale behind the lists of ordered treatment, each item and level building on the one before, to remove barriers to the body's highest function and restore that function in the order it is required to accomplish the culmination of all goals, health. Let's get back to the goal of our treatment. Our goal is to optimize health and wellness from a physiological perspective. To have the greatest effect on the function of the body, we must treat on the cellular level. When we treat to get cells to function better within themselves and their support tissue, to function better with the other cells of their organ and the organ support tissue, to get that organ to function better within its organ system, and those organ systems to function together in a united whole that accomplishes not only survival, but also the ability to thrive, that which is coined thrival, to survive and thrive. Our treatment of physiological units starts with a focus on a specific group of cells and their interaction with their support cells. We focus on organ cells, whether that's muscle, ligament, synovium, somatic nerves, liver, kidney, autonomic nerves, etc., and support cells derived from the same embryonic tissue as the cells in question. These cells, the organ cells and the support cells, are all derived from the same related embryonic tissue, and we must optimize their function as a whole to treat on the cellular level. As a manual therapist, we start with the discrete structures of muscle, tendon, ligament, bones, joints, and nerves. We put this all together into our focus on the musculoskeletal system, but quickly find that there is much more involved in restoration of proper function. We must use a systems analysis. We look at the neurological system, endocrine system, cardiorespiratory vascular system, lymphatic system, digestive system, genital urinary system, reproductive system, the limbic system, and sometimes even the integumentary system to restore the dysfunction to health. As our level of comprehension evolves as therapists, we learn that systems analysis is useful, but that we must take it to a level beyond to look at tissue types. A tissue is an assembly of cells and their extracellular matrix from the same embryonic origin that together carry out a specific functional goal. The embryonic tissues are the cells that differentiate into the organs and tissues of an embryo. These tissues are formed from the three germ layers, the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. From these embryonic tissues, four basic types of tissue evolve: connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Connective tissue supports other tissues and binds them together: bone, blood, and lymph tissues. Epithelial tissue is a type of body tissue that forms the covering on all internal and external surfaces of the body, lines body cavities and hollow organs, and is the major tissue in glands. It plays crucial roles in protection, secretion, absorption, and filtration. Muscle tissue is a specialized type of tissue that contracts to produce movement. There are three main types of muscle tissue: skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, smooth muscle. Nervous tissue is a specialized tissue that forms the body's nervous system. It is responsible for receiving, processing, and transmitting electrical signals throughout the body. Nervous tissue is primarily composed of two types of cells. Neurons, that are the primary functional units of the nervous system. They generate, transmit, and receive electrical impulses. And glial cells, that support and protect neurons, provide nutrients, and remove waste products. So if you think of the lymphatics, glial cells, but also the Schwann cells that wrap neurons in myelin sheathing to increase the speed or the clarity of the information being transmitted. Nervous tissue plays a crucial role in various bodily functions, including sensory perception, detecting and interpreting stimuli from the environment, motor control, initiating and coordinating muscle movements, cognition, processing information, learning, memory, and decision-making, autonomic regulation, controlling involuntary bodily functions such as heart rate, digestion, and breathing. Thus, when we treat, we should focus on the connective tissue, the epithelial tissue, the muscle tissue, and the nervous tissue. We test to determine where a patient can or can't function to make the world flat, maintain orientation in space, and breathe and move fluids. We treat to restore these dysfunctions by focusing on the cells where the adaptation or compensation occurs and their tissues. These tissues must function together within an organ, a viscera, a muscle, a joint, etc., to accomplish the goal of the organ or that portion of the organ. The involved organs must function together to accomplish the goal of the organ system, gait, reproduction, digestion, and the organ systems must function together to sustain thrival, growth, development, immunity, healing, feeding, hunting, gathering, mating, raising children, etc. We treat on the cellular level to integrate and restore the body's ability to be young as old as possible.